They come from every corner of the world, with powers we only dream of. Here to battle the forces of nature, known for their strength, their boldness, their intelligence, and their courage. Some are witty, some are sweet, but most of all, they are Silky Momz.
Oh my god.
Like, it's huge.
Oh no, that is far worse.
Yeah, I would never let anyone do that to me. I would never let anyone do that to me.
Like when you were a kid and you had like a sewing needle and you would stick it through like the top layer of your skin or something. That is way worse.
Hi guys, welcome back to Silky Momz. I'm Amber.
I'm Sydney.
And this week we're going to talk about me coming back from being gone for 6 weeks.
And us being gone for like 2-3 months. So
oh my god, yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a hot minute. Summer's finally over. Our kids are back in school.
Yes.
And we
starting to slow down again.
Finally have a life.
Right, barely.
Kind of. Not really. What is a life? What is life?
So just as a disclaimer, same as always, I guess, if you need medical advice or any professional advice, get that from your doctor and not us.
Yeah.
Because we're just people.
Seek someone out that actually has a degree in something and has practiced it. And yeah, we trust Google and our own experiences. So
yep. You can trust us if you want, but
I would.
Grain of salt. Oh, geez. Okay, so today is going to be pretty much Life After Baby episode 2.
Yeah, we've done this one. We did an earlier episode, if you haven't listened to it, of Life After Baby, of how we talked about our experiences like after we had our first kids. And so Amber's on number 2. So I'm I want a number 2 next year, hopefully.
Right.
And so
maybe this will give you some early preparedness.
I probably still won't be prepared, but yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, you want another child, Sydney?
Yes. So
out of the 3 that you already have, you want 4.
I wanted 5, but I don't think Milton's going to give me 5.
You are insane.
I want a basketball team.
Honestly.
But now I have to be coach and put Milton in. So
I mean, just from a cost perspective.
Well, so this
one child, from my understanding, is already a nightmare.
Well, it is.
Yeah, they're pretty costly.
Yeah, they are pretty costly. But Milton told me I had to wait 4 years because then that way Madeline is in preschool and she's potty trained, so we don't have to buy diapers anymore. And then we'll have a newborn, and then we'll have that cost. So then we just kind of start all over again.
Right.
And Maverick just started kindergarten.
Yeah.
And Kimberlyn is in 7th grade, which is terrifying in itself. So yeah.
It's like the perfect time to have another baby.
Yeah. After we get married next year, I told him, I'm ripping this IUD out, and we're just going to see what happens.
Yep. Yeah, honestly. We kind of did the same thing. We waited until Cadmus was 3. We were trying to shoot for earlier in when he was 3, having another one, just so they wouldn't be too far apart. Because the age gap kind of makes a difference how they grow up together. But we barely got there. Had him when he was still 3, but we pushed it.
So do you think, and granted, I don't know, if, Amber, since you've had 2, is that your limit?
Oh, yeah. No more. Nope. Yeah, Barn's going in next week to get the snip, and I'm very proud of him. Oh, really? Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I was about to ask about, because my brother has 2 small children.
Yeah.
Well, I think one's 3 or 4. She just started kindergarten, I think. The oldest one did. And he had a consultation recently for a vasectomy. So I was curious if, both of your partners were going to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, Milton probably will never do it. I can barely get him to go to the doctor in the first place,
Right.
let alone go get snipped. So
Right. No, Barn was very nice and said he would do it because I can't do birth control. The hormones just screw me up, and like the IUD makes me kind of nervous because I've heard so many people talk about it, like puncturing stuff and it getting ripped out and it hurting, getting put in, and I'm just like, ugh. And then I've seen those like giant, pretty much staple guns they put that big ass thing in your arm with, and I just
You have a microchip in your arm, basically?
I can't do it. Like the needle is bigger than like pencil lead. Like the needle,
Really?
Yeah, the needle is huge, dude. I'm gonna have to. Okay, we're gonna have to look that up. Tim, you can look it up too if you feel like the need.
Yeah. So it's birth control that goes in your arm is what we're talking about.
Yep.
And it stays there. I think you can do it for like 5 years. I think. I could be wrong.
Yes, it's a long time, but
I will look it up while you're looking it up. I do have a question though. So this is totally random thought, or actually, I kind of asked this to my brother as well. Do you think that some people, apart from just not wanting to have any more children and wanting to not have to deal with like their partner being on birth control, especially like if it's a female partner being on the pill or the IUD, do you think some people do it just because they're tired of the cost of condoms?
Oh, I never
hadn't
thought about that.
But possibly,
Yeah.
honestly.
And then you don't have to deal with like going to Walmart, taking it up to the front, having them take it out of that stupid case thing.
Oh my god!
Or
Right?
having someone unlock it.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
Not that I would know.
Here's a video of it. Look at how big that needle is.
Oh my god.
Like it's huge.
Oh no. That is far
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah, I would never let anyone do that to me.
No.
I would never let
Like-
anyone do that to me.
Like when you were a kid and you had like a sewing needle and you would stick it through like the top layer of your skin or something. That's
this
like
is way
that is
worse.
way worse.
I'm gonna forward this to Tim and he can see it too. But like,
oh my god. It looks like a stapler.
I
like
would
the-
literally kill myself before I let someone do that to me.
like the little contraption, like it's the needle
Right.
and then like the
Yeah.
little, it just looks like a staple gun for
How
some
do
reason.
women do that? I would
How do
rather
women
die.
do a lot of things.
I would rather die.
I mean,
We got distracted right off the bat,
Oh,
but this
yeah.
is definitely one of the topics because like as soon as I had my 6-week appointment, that was the first thing my doctor asked me. My OB was like, well, how do you plan on doing birth control? And I'm like, I don't.
not my responsibility.
I'm not putting that shit in my arm. I'm not putting anything in my uterus. I'm not taking pills. I'm not doing
That's
it.
funny.
But is the now the pain for that getting shot in the arm cannot be nearly as bad as birthing itself.
Probably not.
At least like my body and like all of my like, you know,
And you get also adrenaline
Yeah.
from that too. So
it's
you
like
kinda,
keeping me from dying.
Yeah.
If somebody came at me with that thing, I
That's
would
straight
die.
fear.
I would just
Yeah.
panic. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
All right. Speaking of, how was your hospital experience this time around?
Okay, it was like wildly different. And,
Really?
And I say that like there was just so much stuff that happened the first time that I thought was like normal that wasn't.
And it wasn't.
Not even a little bit. Like I knew my first birth was like traumatic, but I didn't realize like how traumatic it was. Like the first time I gave birth, there was 2 or 3 nurses, there was the doctor, there was an EMT guy watching, there was like 2 or 3 baby nurses, and the baby doctor was all in the room too, along with Barnes. So there was like 15-ish people in that room from what I can remember. And like this time when I gave birth, it was me, Barn, the OB, and a nurse. And that was it. There was only
really?
4 people in the room. There was no one else there. Like it was empty.
Was there any other births on the floor that day?
There were, but like they were all just different times. Like everybody had just gotten done with a C-section because I had my anesthesiologist come in and give me my shot right afterwards. But like there was nobody in the room. It was just the doctor and her.
Crazy.
Right. And he was like, yeah, it was totally uncomplicated. They like pulled him out and flopped him on my stomach and like walked out of the room. Like there was nobody in there with me. It was so weird. Like I had no idea apparently how like in danger / traumatic it was the first time around. Cause like everybody and their brother was in there like panicking, trying to get this baby out of me and take care of him. And this time they were just like, yeah, here's this slimy goop. We're going to flop him on your chest. We'll be back in about 30 minutes or so. Make sure you put your boob in his mouth.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Like they didn't even take him to weigh him or like any of that stuff. Yeah, they just plopped him on my chest and like I had like an hour with him before they did any of that stuff.
Interesting.
Like, yeah, the last time they picked up like the baby, held him up to see me, and they're like, "Here he is, okay, bye." Like
that's
took
what they
him
did
off
with Madeline.
to like get him to like resuscitate pretty much and like weigh him and scale him and all that stuff. Yeah, it was so weird.
That is weird.
Like, I didn't know what to do with myself because I was like, this isn't how it went the first time. This isn't what I was expecting
Where are all the people?
at all. Like it just happened. It was so easy. It was so weird.
And
like
you were induced, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And it was like I went in at like 6 o'clock in the morning, checked in. They got me into the hospital bed. The worst part of the entire thing was they tried to get a vein in my arm, and when she stuck me, she hit like a valve in the vein. Cause okay, so like I don't know if you know, but like your heart, you know how it has valves.
Yeah.
Okay, your veins have valves like that too to keep blood from like backflowing the wrong direction,
Right.
so it'll go out and then it'll close. So like when they run an IV into your arm, if you hit one of those valves, you can't go through it. So, so she hit the valve and was like pushing on my vein, and I could feel it. And I was like, and she's like, "Oh no, I hit a valve. I'm so sorry." So she had to like pull it out, and I'm like dying because I'm already like terrified of needles. I absolutely hate them, and I'm just like sobbing. And she's like, "I'm so sorry." So she called like the charge nurse in, and she went and did it in my other arm, and she got it in fine. But she's like, "Look, sometimes it happens. We don't know where valves are. They're not in like a standard place for every person. They're all different for every person. So sometimes we just bump into it." And I'm just,
I have never heard of that before.
I know.
That's wild.
Me neither. And it freaked me out. I just could not handle it. That was the most traumatizing part, which is wild.
Did you have any like tearing or anything like that?
No,
Really?
nothing, not at all. And that's the wild thing. Like, so the doctor was like, "Okay, yeah, we're gonna, give you some Pitocin and get you going, and like we probably won't have a baby until 2-3 o'clock." And I'm like, "All right." He's like, "Yeah, we'll go nice, slow and slow." They start me on the Pitocin, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm feeling it." Like almost immediately, I'm feeling it. And the nurse comes back in, and she's like, "Well, you let me know when it hurts so bad you need an epidural." And I was like, "Okay." I'm like, "It's probably going to be pretty soon." And she's like, "Okay, well, we just lost our anesthesiologist because he had to go into a C-section. Okay. So it's going to be about, 30, 40-ish minutes before he's ready to come and do an epidural." And I was like, "Ooh, okay, all right." So I think I can wait that long. So I like held out. And like we're getting really close to the end, and I'm like, "Hey, I really need an epidural." And she's like, "Oh, okay, he's out. We can check you really quick." She checks me, and she's like, "You're at a 7." She's
no.
She's like, we can give you an epidural, but it may not even work." So I'm like, "Oh God, okay." So they call him in, they give me an epidural, and like literally 2 minutes later, I'm pushing a baby out. Like my legs aren't numb. Nothing is numb. I just felt the whole thing. They get the baby out, and the doctor's like, "Well, pretty much did that completely unmedicated. Good job."
Nope.
And honestly, it like the pain wasn't as bad as I expected it to. There was probably like 3 or 4 contractions that I was just like, "Holy shit, I'm gonna die." But like after that, it was done. Like I expected the pain to be more and longer, but like it really was just like those last couple contractions that like gets baby into birth canal that like everyone's like, "Oh my God, those hurt so bad." They do, but there's only like 3 of them, and then you're done. I was just like,
that was not Madeline because she wouldn't come out. So
yeah.
But yeah.
Yep. Well, hopefully your next one just kind of comes on out.
Hopefully, we'll see. I might have a ginormous child again. How much did he weigh?
Average. He was like 7'9".
Nice.
Yeah, not terribly too heavy, not too long, just pretty average.
So like you had your prolapse. I can't think of it. How like did that? Because you had to have surgery, right?
I didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't.
Okay.
Because they said they could do stuff to fix it, but then if you had another kid, it would just tear it all up again. So
okay.
they're like, you can wait and you can get prolapses and stuff fixed afterwards if you want to, but like if it doesn't bug you, it's not a big deal. As long as things aren't literally falling out of you, you're okay. So I've just kind of been living with it for the last 3 years. But surprisingly, this time around, it's like having your pelvic floor re-injured is like allowing it to heal the correct way because it wasn't so traumatic. So like it just kind of stretched everything back out, and now my body is like actually like able to rein everything back in. So like it's actually better than it was.
It's like when you break your arm and you wait too long to go to the ER and they have to re-break it again.
Yeah, pretty much. Except this is my pelvic floor, so I had to re-break it again, and now it seems like it's a little better than it was.
So
previously.
What you're telling me is the more kids I have, the tighter I'll get?
Oh, no. But if the first one was really traumatic, your second one might, help patch things up a little bit.
I am sorry for all the family members listening to this right now.
Well, yeah, because like, I don't know if you listened to the first episode. If you haven't, you should go back and listen to it. But Cadmus was born via forceps. So they had, stick giant salad tongs and like their whole hands up inside of me to like yank him out. So like I didn't get to stretch. It tore my cervix. It tore just everything in there. Like, and I went home with like 30 some stitches. But like this time, everything had time to adjust. Everything had time to stretch and descent, and everything worked great. And he just slid right out of there. And I got no stitches, no tearing,
That's awesome.
nothing. And everything is like kind of healing up a little bit better. And like, one thing I didn't notice until about 2 or 3 weeks in was like, I'm pretty sure it's healed like my mental trauma also a little bit, because like I didn't realize how traumatizing the first one was, and it just gave me anxiety, and like I couldn't figure out where it came from, and I couldn't tell like where the depression and like the postpartum anxiety and crap came from, and I'm pretty sure it was because that birth was so traumatic.
That makes a lot of sense.
Because like this time around, I feel like wildly better. Like I feel better than I did, before I got pregnant.
I wonder if there's studies based on postpartum and traumatic births. I'm sure there's something out there.
Right. But like, I cannot believe no one ever looked at me and put 2 and 2 together and they're like, hey, you had a really traumatic birth. Are you okay? Like,
hey, do you need some anxiety meds or some
wild, because like
antidepressants?
I'm not even on my anxiety meds anymore, and I feel better than I did when I was on my anxiety meds. So I'm just like, this is...
So you're telling me I need to have another baby in order to be happy.
That's what I'm telling you. That's
Got
a good reason to tell Milton you need another one.
Honey, I need to stop my antidepressants. Can you get me knocked up?
Right, yeah.
Oh, that's really
and
funny.
just like the knowledge of like what to expect. Like I went in thinking, okay, Cadmus was pretty rough. If I have this baby and it's easier, it's not going to be so bad. I have had this baby and it's the same, then it's not so bad. But if I have this baby and it's worse, then we know we have a problem. So like, 2 out of 3, I'm breaking even and, having a good experience. So yeah, that just fixed my brain somehow. I don't. Apparently there's studies about it. That's what that little link is
what
in
that
there.
link is?
Yep.
I read it a little bit. We'll post it with all the stuff that we post.
It's just
I have heard
crazy.
that having a second child is easier.
Yeah.
In general, like I know. Granted, I mean, I have not asked my mom for any particular details.
Hey, Mom, how's your vagina after 2 kids?
I don't know that she would be comfortable with that phrase. But yeah, all I know is she said apparently I was much easier, and apparently you put it the same way she did, which was slid right out.
Yeah.
Shoot out.
I mean, it was still very painful, don't get me wrong, but like it went so much faster. Like I laid down and I pushed a couple times and he got like stuck a little bit behind my pelvic bone. So I like pushed down on my stomach a little bit and he went boop and like popped out from underneath it. Like those little little disc shooters that you used to have in the 90s where you squeeze them just a little bit and they'd go pew and they'd shoot out. Yeah. It was kind of like that. Like she just pushed down on my pelvic bone a little bit and he went whoop and shot right out of there.
By the way, I watched that implant video just now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ow.
Right. Yo,
Now
what the heck?
look up an IUD one
Oh, yeah. Oof.
in the pinchers.
I don't know that I want to right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. The little pinchers are like little forceps, and they use it to grab your like cervix. Like if this is your cervix, they like grab it and they like pinch down into it, and it puts holes in it so they can like jab the IUD in through your cervix.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
it's a cervical piercing.
Yeah, pretty much. And they don't medicate you
It's like
for
a
it.
Prince
They don't
Albert,
give you
but worse.
They don't give you any pain relief for it at all. They're just like, it'll be a little pinch. But what they don't tell you is they're poking literal holes in your body. It's great.
Fabulous.
That's why I was like, no birth control for me. Thanks.
You know, I'm starting to get it. Yeah.
So, I'm going to try to get us back on track here a little bit.
So the last thing on that little section was like,
How was your stay? Like,
yeah,
was the food
stay,
better or?
The food was food. The one thing that did make my stay better was having my own gown, which you sent me money for, right? As a gift, yep. But I went online and found my own like pregnancy gown, and that's another thing you should tell Milton. You should just be like, yes, I'm spending the extra $60 or whatever.
I had a
maternity gown.
That was awesome.
Because like. The one that I bought, it tied really low on your back so you could still get an epidural. And then it had buttons that like snapped all the way under your boobs and all the way up in between them. So you could just like break away boobie. And then you could like feed your baby.
Can you imagine like you're getting into your hospital bed and the nurse is trying to hook you up to all these things, and all of a sudden you're just like, whoosh,
I did show the first nurse that because I was still like wearing my like sports bra and stuff because I have a pretty comfortable like soft bra. She's like, wow, that's a really pretty and nice like soft gown. And I'm like, look at this. And she's like, whoa, that's so cool. And I'm like, I know.
It's like when your dress has pockets.
Yes. Except it's when your birthing gown has breakaway boobs.
Has breakaway boobs. So, side note to all the side notes, I was trying on wedding dresses a couple of weeks ago.
Did it have breakaway boobs?
No, it didn't, unfortunately, because that would be really funny. But like every single time there was a dress that had pockets, the store owner was like, and this one has pockets.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I love a good wedding dress with pockets.
Obviously. Oh shoot.
Gotta put your phone in it.
Yeah, keep your phone, your shots, your whatever you can possibly think of. Did you did you take anything else with you other than your gown?
We actually packed really light. We took just a change of clothes for the baby, a change of clothes for me, and I think Barn took like an extra t-shirt or something because he had his jorts.
His jorts. How long were you in the hospital for?
1 day. So
seriously?
Yeah. So like gave birth, spent the night, woke up the next day and left.
I was so envious.
I know. That's another thing. I was just like, because the first one we stayed for like 2 nights, 3 nights. I don't remember.
Like 4 days.
Right. But like we stayed so much longer and it was so nice to just get in and get out.
Huh. I kind of liked being there because I like being waited on.
Yeah. But like, it was just so nice just not having to worry about, just getting home. It was good. It was nice. But yeah, like it was good. That part was, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh gosh. So like the next topic.
Going through our questions.
Yeah.
Here.
The next subtopic is what it's like at home now.
Yeah.
And like the number of kids, did it make a difference and all that fun stuff. But like for me so far, 2 is fine. Cadmus really likes his brother so far.
So far, yeah,
he'll walk
keyword
up
there.
Yeah, he'll walk up to him and go, "Oh, so cute," and like pat his head. So like, I mean, he loves it. He's excited to have somebody he can play with that is like going to permanently live with us. So far, so far he's excited about it. But I saw a TikTok the other day that was talking about like the number of kids and like the family size being right or wrong, and like Everyone kind of agrees that like having 2 kids or like 4 people in your family is the right number, because like you all fit in a sedan car, like you can ride 2 in the back, 2 up front. You can all fit together in a booth or at a table of like 4 people, but like having 3 is like that weird odd man out, because like you have to cram them in the middle of a backseat of a car or get a new car. If you go out to eat, you have to sit at a table meant for 6 people, so you have like one guy sitting off on the end.
I've never thought about that. Like how you like your 5th child, like your 3rd child is the 5th wheel, basically.
Right. Well, yeah, because if you have a table of 6, so you have like mom and dad and kids sitting across from you, and then you have this one kid that either has to sit by mom and dad or like sit by themselves and not have like table interaction.
I think
it's weird.
I'm trying to think how we sit when that happens, and I think normally one of us parents is like the 3rd wheel on that side,
right?
Of all 3 kids, or at least in the
so you
middle.
Put the 4 kid or 4 like
and
in
then
the corner, and
one of the parents is off.
That makes sense. Usually that's the older child position.
Yeah, where they don't want to talk to you anyway. Kimberlin's starting to be that way. I got a text from Milton yesterday morning because he had to drop Maverick off at their mom's, because Maverick spent the night with us because Kimberlin had softball, and he goes, "Oh, she just walked right by me like I didn't even exist." I was like, "I'm so sorry, honey." She is 12 going on 16.
Right.
So that's gonna be normal. I'm sorry.
It does it. And like people talk about kids, like once you've had 3, you might as well just have the 4th one. You know, because like then it evens out your numbers. Well, and then it's like
I can't remember if I've said
there's
this before,
6 of you, so you take up the whole table.
Yeah, I can't remember if I've already said this, but yeah, that's why we want to have Madeline, or why I want a sibling for Madeline, is so when that she has someone at the house all the time, because Kimberlin and Maverick are only there like every other week during the summer, and then every other weekend during the school year. So and we changed daycares on her this year, so we took away her siblings and all of her friends.
No,
she has not liked us for a couple of weeks, so that's been fun.
Yeah, that's why we agreed to stop at 2, because like I don't want to get a bigger car. I don't want, to have to find another house with another room in it. I don't want to have to sit an odd man out at a table. I like sitting at booths in restaurants. Like
you're still using a bassinet at home, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So that's like the only reason I've kept our bassinet is just so, because I'm not moving again. If we add another one, that baby is just gonna live in our room in the bassinet. That is its own
that's
unit.
His home. Right.
That's his home or her home, and that's where they will stay until I figure out who gets to share a room.
Right.
So whichever one gets along the best, you get to share the room.
Right.
That's how that works.
Yeah. No. We're gonna stop at 2. Thank goodness. Like we're gonna be done after that, because that's the family of 4 is a perfect number for us.
Where you don't have to get a new car.
Right. No new car, no weird booths, no split attention. Like mom can do one, dad can do the other. Like we don't have a weird 3rd-wheeled child.
It's just
like
not getting paid attention to.
Right. Yeah. It's a good healthy spot for us to stop, so we don't overdo it.
I feel that.
But Anywho, we have a break that is going to probably break Sydney's brain. It's either going to be good or bad, or...
She warned me about this yesterday.
I did, because I was afraid it was
I had a whipped cream revelation that I may or may not share later.
Oh, that'd be a good one. This can just be a break of revelations. How about that?
Okay. Mine's highly inappropriate.
We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So this is the break of revelation. Sydney's, over here munching chips. Look.
So we were talking, sorry, I'm going to get off topic again. We were talking about like new terms that have come out, like girl dinner and girl math. And I am totally having a girl dinner, which is just chips and French onion dip and a bubbler. And that is my lunch. I brought a perfectly good lunch today.
Yeah.
I could have eaten it, but I had to go get some caffeine. And I was like, you know what?
That doesn't sound right.
Chips and dip just is where it's at today.
Right.
Anyway. Sorry, go ahead.
So my revelation for the day is the term working mom. In our lexicon of the English language, we have terms that everyone knows, and one of them is working mom, or a mom that has kids at home who also works. But like one thing we have never said or heard of is a working dad. So,
That's brilliant.
right. So like people don't expect dads to like have their attention split while they're at work or like think of kids. So like that term just never existed. It wasn't ever
I'm
coined.
have to ask every person now, every dude that I see, if how they're doing being a working dad. Like I'm trying to think if I know anyone who's had a kid recently. Like,
I know.
who I can call and be like, how is it being a working dad?
Right. Because like men just don't expect that. Like they were never called that. It was never meant to be that way because everyone was afraid women's attention would be like so split between their home and work life that like we had to come up with a label for it. But like it never occurred to anyone that a man might be stressed that he had to leave his baby at home.
I'm trying to think. Do I know any stay-at-home dads? I'm trying to think if I feel like I should know one.
I mean, Barn kind of is. We 50-50
You
it.
50-50.
Right.
You're like true 50-50.
Yeah, he stays at home all day during the day until 5. I come home at 5. He goes to work. And then I have the kids from 5 till, we wake up in the morning. And then he has them from the morning until 5.
I don't know. That is like we'll have to put that on Facebook or something of
Right.
working dad versus working mom, what the definitions are.
Right.
I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah. Because like we have coined working dad because we've at least like moved along the lines like of women sometimes being the breadwinner. So like we've made it that far, but like the term working mom still exists and the term working dad doesn't. It's wild.
It is wild.
What was your revelation?
My whipped cream revelation?
Yeah.
Okay. So bear with me here. So I was thinking, I don't know how to even like
just started like you did.
this.
You whipped my door open and you're like, Crunchy Moms, I bet they make their own whipped cream.
Well, yeah.
Just go from there.
I was thinking yesterday about whipped cream. I'm not going to say how I was thinking about it or why I was thinking about it, but I was thinking about it.
We all know.
And then
The fact that you're prefacing it means that we already know.
I haven't seen Milton in a really long time. So I was thinking about whipped cream.
Okay.
Then I was like, well, if I'm a crunchy mom, and well, actually, I'm like, I make my own whipped cream a lot at home because it's just easier and I don't have to buy a big tub of it and I just make what I need if I'm making dessert or something for the kids. And then I got to thinking like crunchy moms probably make their own whipped cream too.
Right.
And then I'm like, how, if I was a crunchy mom, like how would you spice things up in the bedroom with whipped cream? Would you just like whip up your own batch of whipped cream and like put it in a piping bag?
Like, dollop
or would
it
you
on
like
them?
dollop it? Like nothing is sexier than a dollop of whipped cream. You have this big bowl on the side of the bed of whipped cream.
Instead of just having the spray can.
Instead of just a spray can. But then when you think about it, the spray can isn't better either because it makes that sound. If you don't shake it and it comes out all liquidy.
Oh, jeez. I feel like you've had this experience. I can't imagine like a piping bag and like trying to frost things. Like, I can't.
Like, that's the only thing. Anyway, that was.
I mean, when you want to get experimental in the bedroom,
Just a bowl of whipped cream you just dip your hand into and just.
I told Milton last night when he was leaving for work. I was like, we've got the chocolate syrup in the fridge. You just need to bring home the can of whipped cream. And he goes, we'll see if I even remember. And like he was not amused at all. I thought it was funny.
I mean,
That is
food
pretty
is
funny.
definitely it's a fetish.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
a thing.
There was.
Or just messiness in general is the
Right.
thing.
Isn't there I want to say a Seinfeld episode of where George has a girlfriend or has a lady friend that is and the lady friend wanted to like experiment with like food in the bedroom, and she brings out
gosh.
like a cold cut.
Oh my God.
And, like, brings out lunch meat. And, like,
What?
I think it's Seinfeld. I'm gonna have to find it.
That is so funny.
But that episode's really funny. I'll have to find it. I'll link it. But it's just like he is horrified because he doesn't know what to do with the sandwich meat.
That's so
I
funny.
mean, there are things that I imagine in the bedroom would be like sexy to a certain degree, like
Right.
things that are a little bit messier. Like I can see whipped cream and other things. I mean, that's like cherries, things like that, like candy.
I can't stand
But like
it
like
sticky.
a cold cut, it'd be like bringing a sandwich into bed.
Right. All I can see is just like a deli cut piece of turkey and just being like slap and it like sticking to him.
It's like, have you ever seen the tortilla face slap?
Yes,
face?
that exactly,
that's what I
except with a
imagine
slice
it.
of turkey.
You're just slapping with the meat, but it's not the meat that you want.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
That should be their new slogan.
We'll slap you with meat, but not the meat you want.
Where's Oscar Mayer? We need to have that right now.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm sure they'd buy it for a few $100,000.
I'm trademarking. Is it trademarking or how
Yep.
how do I get it to where people can't use it and they have to pay me?
It's either that or copyright.
Copyright. Oh my god.
So
I mean, you'd think Arby would have that because they're the one who apparently has the meats.
We're the meats. Yeah.
We have the meats, just
Yeah.
not the meat you want.
Oh no. Oh no.
They have got. I'm sure someone in that marketing department has.
Somebody
thought
had
of
to have
this.
made that joke already.
They've got
Right?
to.
So I had another revelation now that we're on the topic of that the other day, which is like no shirt policies. So like men, walk around without
Yeah.
their shirt on all the time and they just do it for the fun of it. But like men are also the ones that are just like, ew, free the nipple is so gross and weird, and like, ew, all those weird lesbians. Like they don't they don't
Or
even care.
even
They
just
just
breastfeeding in general.
Yeah, they just freak out. They're like, ew, boobies. Right, boobs in general, breastfeeding. They're like, oh my God, that's so weird. I think every single man who says anything about a woman being topless, being weird or sexual should lose his right to be shirtless.
That's fair.
He just has to wear a shirt now.
Probably most of those men shouldn't be shirtless in the first place.
Yeah.
So
If you don't want to see my boobs, too
I
bad,
don't
so
wanna see
sad.
yours.
You have to wear a shirt now.
yeah.
I don't really understand why it makes people uncomfortable. Like, I'll put it this way: like, for one thing, it's natural.
Right.
Secondarily, though, I mean, both men and women who are not completely, I mean, even if they are completely straight or if they're bi, I don't know a man alive who wouldn't want to see boobs.
That's fair.
Yeah, but like people like over sexualize boobs too.
I mean,
When-
true.
Exhausting.
When like when it comes to boobs, here's my 2 cents. The only reason men are attracted to them is a biological thing in their brain that says, wow, those titties could feed my child. And so like to them, it is a reproductive thing. Just like when you see a strong, muscly man, you're like, holy cow, he could protect me. Or like a really thin, lanky
That's
man.
what you think when
and
you
he's
see a
like
strong, muscly
really
man?
no, but that's what is biologically built
Oh,
into
yeah,
your
sure.
brain. If you see a scrawny tall man and that's like your type, you're like, oh wow, he would be a good provider or a hunter or someone who could run around and do
could
those
reach a
things for me.
basketball goal.
Right. So like women, when you talk about their boobs, it's not about sex, it's about reproductive and being able to feed your kid. So it's not that boobs are like sexy, it's that they were just always part of like the package. The same reason we see muscles as sexy. So like if my boobs are sexual, you also have to cover your guns up. I'm sorry. Like that's the exact same parallel we're drawing, right? Like
Yeah.
is that if I find something sexy on your body, you have to cover it up. Well, sorry guys, your guns are sexy. You have to cover them up.
That's fair.
Like what?
I'm also going to need you to shave that beard too.
Yeah,
so.
right. I'm sorry, I can't see it. I just can't contain myself. Like
The beard is harder to cover up, I'm just going to say.
Oh my goodness.
but that's kind of how I've always felt about like no shirt
Yeah.
things. Like
That's fair.
right.
In Manhattan, Kansas, you can actually walk downtown shirtless.
Really?
Yeah, they passed a law a few years ago
I
that
didn't
women
know
can
that.
walk around shirtless.
Well, good for them. Good for them.
I don't know if anyone's actually tried it.
Right. But you can.
But you can.
I think some probably have, but I think there's more of a proclivity towards wearing pasties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
If there's anything about boobs specifically that seems to like set people
It's the
off,
nipple.
It's the nipple.
which is the weirdest thing to me.
I know. That's same.
Which is interesting because like on TikTok, I see so many videos of like breast cancer survivors.
Yeah.
Who are getting their nipples tattooed. Like there's a gal
Yeah.
on TikTok who does amazing tattoo work and will create a very realistic
tattoo of a nipple.
of a nipple
Yeah.
for survivors who've basically had their tits cut off.
Yeah.
And yeah. But that stuff doesn't get
Right.
marked or
Not
flagged
even a little
on
bit
TikTok.
because it's a fake one.
Yeah.
It's not a real nipple. I bet you could stick a sticker of a picture of your nipple over your nipple and it wouldn't get censored because it's a pasty. It's not your real nipple. It's a picture of a nipple.
I'm not trying it with my account, but I'm sure
If we have any volunteers, right?
We're going to test all of TikTok's community guidelines of how much nipple can you show.
It's art. Pictures of nipples don't
It
get
is.
censored, right?
I don't remember where I saw this. I think it was a meme, but it was a painting from like the 1700s, and it was basically a threesome.
Oh.
And it was
Cool.
Oh shoot, what did it say? I think I just wanted to tell you that I saw a painting from the 1700s and it was a threesome. Don't remember the point of me telling you that.
Were there nipples involved?
No, they were sucking on him so you couldn't see him.
Oh.
Everything
well,
was covered.
that counts as censored, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if you could video someone sucking on someone's nipple and get away with it because it's covered.
We just entered a realm of
We
a
did.
whole nother.
That feels like it should be a Pornhub category.
But what if they're doing it non-sexually?
I mean, the only non-sexual way is if you're literally feeding them.
That is a category on Pornhub.
Oh no!
I'm not surprised.
No.
Everything's a category.
Everything is
on
a
Pornhub.
category.
Let's see. That gets us straight into the going back to work
Going
after
back to
having a
work.
baby.
We would like now to take this moment to mention this podcast is not safe for work.
Yeah.
Not at this
Please
rate.
do not listen to this on full volume in your office.
We're warning you like a day late and $1 short.
Like
after
you're
we've-
probably already reaching for your volume levels. Like, oh my God, they're talking about nipples.
One guy in the background just says, "Turn it up more."
Right. Bless his heart.
Oh
He's
my
the
God.
audience we need.
Oh my God.
So,
Can you imagine if our intern was here today?
oh my gosh, he
Drew.
would just. Oh, I feel
That poor guy.
we need to get him down here for one of these
Well, we'll
episodes.
definitely have him come down here because
just-
he needs to learn the podcast room. But
Trauma.
yeah, we would traumatize him.
Do you think the other? Oh, I don't know about the other interns. Like, I don't think Maria would have been traumatized.
No, she
Talia,
would have been about it.
I don't know.
I think Delia would have been
Yeah,
fine.
I think it would be all right.
The girl's not it's Drew who I don't want to. Yeah,
Poor Drew.
poor Drew. He's a very sweet kid though. Anyway, he'll text me at like 11:30, almost midnight, and be like, "Hey, I've been working on this project." We're like, "Drew, go to bed."
Go home,
Drew.
Drew.
So he has been working on a project for us for a client, and he's part-time. He's in school, and so he only works a couple days a week. And so he was working on a project all day on like Tuesday, and he texted me like at midnight Tuesday night, and he's like, "Hey, I've got some edits that I need to do. Do you mind if I come in the morning?" I'm like, Drew, it's fine. It can wait. Focus on school.
Right.
Come back on the next day.
Right.
I appreciate the enthusiasm. Go to bed. Anyway, sorry. Going back to work.
Yeah. So I was out for 6 whole weeks, and then I come back, and it just so happens that Devin, our creative director,
Everyone was
is
gone.
also gone because he went on vacation and then got
Came back with COVID.
And then Shane, our creative writer, was also gone because
She was on vacation.
And you guys were all on like a week-long
Yep.
shoot.
Gus, Alicia, and I were all on a shoot with another production company for basically a week.
The whole week, right?
And so poor Tim is just here all
hanging
by
out by
himself.
himself. And then I show up and then we're hanging out by ourselves. And then Sydney's like, hey, none of us are in the office. So I need you to go film this. I need you to go take photos of this. I need you to go do that. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we would have been screwed if you wouldn't have come back that week. Because Devin was supposed to do those and he was still sick.
Yeah.
So that did not happen. So luckily,
I got back and had a hectic week the second I got back.
put her to work.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I will say, as far as being left alone, I don't mind it. Being an introvert, quiet, like I leave my door closed all the time anyway.
Right.
So,
But you
Like-
didn't have to hear Sydney down the hall like banging music or like Devin walking around upstairs like thud, 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 everywhere he goes. Like,
it was great.
yeah.
Or someone coming into your office asking what the edit looks like every 5 minutes.
Oh my God, yeah.
Well, that hasn't thankfully happened in a while.
In a while.
I remember like when I first started and like Devin would go into Tim's office and be like, hey, what's the update? And then not even
Right.
15 minutes later,
He'd
Gus
be
would
right
go
back in there. Yeah.
and, hey, what's the update?
It's
and
true.
then like 30 minutes later, Devin would come back in. Hey,
It's
what's
true.
the update?
I know.
And I'm like, how do y'all get anything done?
Right. Devin and Gus would just like opposite shift us and they would like be in our offices like every 10 minutes. I'm like, you guys, go away.
Oh, shoot.
But anywho, coming back to work has been interesting because like the first time I came back to work, it was, I can't say easier or hard. It was different.
I cried my eyes out.
Yeah, like I was a little sad that I had to come back, but also I had just like come off of COVID. So like I had spent like an extended period of time with Cadmus. So like really coming back to work, I was like ready to be back to work because Cadmus was a little bit older. But I did come back. It was like, I don't know, it was like a week, maybe 2 that I had come back from having Cadmus before they like COVID hit and we went home pretty much. It was like max maybe a month, like, and then we went back home. So like, I don't even know if that counts as coming back to work and then having, like forever off again.
It's
but
more like you had a vacation from your kid and then you had to go back.
yeah, right. But like the anxiety and stuff kind of made it hard because I was like, oh my God, like the second I got here, I was like, where's he at? What's he doing? Is he still sleeping? Is Barnabas okay taking care of him? Is he okay? Blah, blah, blah. Right. Like my brain was like on fire, but like it wasn't like, I don't know. This time I came back and like I have to get Cadmus out the door because he goes to school. So I have to make sure he's dressed and ready to go and his backpack's packed and all his stuff in his backpack is like filled out and put back in there. And like then I had to make sure I had me and my pump and all the stuff to like do breast milk while I'm here and like pack my lunch and make sure I had all that stuff in my bag and in my car.
You mean your bag of
And
vegetables?
Then, yeah. And then like get all of that crap in the car and then like make sure I go drop him off to school and then make it back to work on time. And like, it's just different. I just have like so much more stuff to do in the morning than I ever literally ever have. And so I don't know, it's not bad. It's just something new.
It's just new. Which is funny because Milton just started a new job in Lindsborg. And so usually I would drop the kids off on the way to Salina. And now I don't have to because he already works in Lindsborg, so he takes the kids to school now. And now I'm like, what
do I do with my time? I have free time.
I still have my normal routine. We still leave at the same time.
Yeah.
Because now I have Madeline that comes to daycare in Salina now. So I have a buddy on the way to work now, which is great because now I don't have any free time.
Right.
And to myself. Milton came home a couple days ago. It's like, I don't know, 8 o'clock. And Madeline was getting ready for bed, and I looked at him and I go, I need 15 minutes. It's like that Bluey episode where the mom needs 15 minutes. I go, I need 15 minutes. He's like, are you okay? I go, I haven't been alone all day.
Right. I can't even breathe.
I used to have that 30-minute window of just me.
Right.
And I don't have that anymore.
Right. Yep. That's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah. But how has pumping been going?
Oh man, it's interesting because like the first time I did it, it was just Tim, Gus, and I. So like we were all still really busy, so we would still have to like go all out on shoots together, and like I wasn't in the office, so I couldn't just pump.
Yep.
So like I pretty much did what I could, but like my supply went way down because I couldn't pump as often as I needed to. So then we started supplementing with formula, and after that it just kind of like tapered off until I just couldn't do it anymore. So this time I get to stay in my office a lot more because we have an entire production team that can go out and do production stuff. Yeah. Which thank God. So, and also like a new thing as of this year is like the federal law that like protects women that are breastfeeding. That's like, if you can do your job while pumping, you're allowed to do it. And like your business, your boss can't tell you no. Not that like ours would, but like for other women, that's great. But yeah, I sit at my desk now and I can pump a couple times a day and like maintain a decent supply. Like we haven't had to supplement with formula or anything yet. So he's still 100% breastfed, which is awesome. We've made it almost exactly it's 2 months now.
When did your milk come in?
Yeah. Like the day he was born, pretty much.
Really?
I was like an oversupply producer right off the bat. Like I had like a freezer stash of like, oh my God, well over a few 100 ounces.
Wow.
Like it's insane. So I still have a ton of milk frozen, and I'm able to produce daily enough what he drinks currently. So we haven't had to break into the freezer stash yet. I'm still adding to it occasionally when I can, but like it was crazy how much like I produced right in those first 6 weeks. Like I thought it was my freezer stash building few weeks. But we froze a whole ton of it. So
sweet.
That's great.
Are you going to be that mom that has a separate freezer just stocked full of breast milk?
I thought I was going to have to there for a while. Like those first few weeks, I kid you not, like I seriously had hundreds of ounces of breast milk that I just had to freeze. So like I filled the whole door of our freezer with frozen bags of breast milk, and like I was almost having to like move to the shelves, and I was like, dude, if I have to move to the shelves, we're not gonna have room for food in here. Like it's gonna get bad. But then thankfully he started eating more, so he started keeping up with my supply a little bit better, so it's not been as bad, thank God. But I was worried there for a minute. I was like, oh no, this is gonna get bad real fast. But
has he transitioned well with like you being at work and only having dad at home?
He's doing pretty good. We started off like right from the bat pumping and doing a bottle feeding system. So like the only time he breastfed was like really early, and like now on the times when I don't have a bottle like ready for him, like in the moment.
It's just easier to throw him on a tip.
Yeah. And he switches back and forth between them fairly well. He gets mad at my boob because it doesn't flow the same rate as the nipple does. So he gets mad that it's not as like at the beginning it's too fast and it like almost drowns him, and then at the end it's too slow. Because like I said, I overproduce milk, so like the second like a letdown hits, it's just like and he's like gargling it pretty much, and I feel so bad for him, but like like towards the end it's too slow, and he's like, this is angry because the nipple's better, right? So yeah,
poor guy.
He gets a little frustrated, but he lives. He'll live. He'll be okay.
Oh man, that
like,
is so funny.
Pumping at work, I think now the like major challenges are like my door's closed, and thank God we have locks now, because like I don't remember if we used to have locks on our doors or like if we did and I didn't lock my door or something. But like the first time I came back in that week or two before COVID, I was pumping and like nobody knocked on the doors because it's only Tim, Gus, and I. Yeah. So like I was just in there pumping, and Gus just like whoop opens the door. Oh no! Like, and, like, poor Gus. The door.
He is definitely traumatized for life.
And like I don't care who sees my boobs. Everybody's seen them already. Like that's that's just kind of what happens when you give birth. But like I'm pretty sure it traumatized him.
That's funny. I didn't I never had that experience because I was working at the city of McPherson, and their room was technically in the bathroom, which is not supposed to be.
That's so illegal.
It's not, but it was like you go in the door of the bathroom, and then there's a separate room that was kind of like a closet area, but it didn't have a full door on it.
Yeah.
It was like a stall door.
Oh my gosh.
And then if you went farther into the door, then that was the actual bathroom. But yeah, but so everyone could hear everything because there was not like an actual door. It was just a stall door with a couch and a little chair on it.
Neat.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Fabulous. It's great.
Yeah.
That
and it's like pumping takes a while. So like I'm thankful I have an office that like I can just close the door because then I can sit there and do my work while pumping. Like I don't have to
take like 30, 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, easily. Especially like if you have to wash any parts or you have to like just setting the machine up takes 5 or 6 minutes, and then you got to like get it on your boob, and then it takes like 5 or 6 minutes for like a letdown to happen, and then after that it takes 20, 30 minutes to pump everything, and then you have to go wash the parts and like it can take forever. So like I don't want to not work while I'm doing that, like
because the guilt, because so you have the mom guilt of not doing it, and then you have the guilt from like being an employee of like, oh my gosh, I am wasting so much time, right, and like because again, we don't call dads working dads. Like, oh no, I don't want to be labeled a working mom because I have to sit at this desk for 45 minutes and pump and not work, you know, like I'm going to work while I do it. So yeah, it's a train wreck. But so the first day that I came back, I realized I was gonna have a problem because I went downstairs and I was like, I'm gonna wash my pump parts, right? And I get down there and I see this grubby ass sponge that has been in that sink for months now. It's a little fuzzy. It's a little gray. I probably should change those out.
And I'm like, so like I just packed up all of my like dirty pump parts and like took them home and washed them. But I was like, man, I'm gonna have to bring my own like bottle brush and like actual antibacterial soap. Like these things just didn't even occur to me like until I got here, and I was like, oh no.
I always just bagged it all up and threw it in the fridge, and then I washed it when I got home.
Yeah,
that's what I did. Which apparently you're not supposed to do anymore. I don't know. There's a lot of things I did that apparently you're not supposed to do. We microwaved warmed up bottles. We did all the stuff you're not supposed to.
Thankfully my kid just drinks cold milk, so good for him. I don't have to worry about warming anything up. Just drinks cold milk, thank God. I don't have to worry about warming anything up. He's just happy to have food.
Even like switching from breast to bottle,
he didn't care.
Yep.
Like the very first bottle he had that was cold, he was just like, it was weird. So like, but then I figured out it was just like the plastic nipple because it got cold. So I like warmed the nipple up in my fingers and I put it in his mouth and he drank it fine. He was fine with it. And then after that, he didn't care.
What bottles are you using?
It's the Kind system. So like you can pump directly into the bag, and then the bag you can just
put in the bottle,
pop the nipple on it, and then they can drink it, which is just great. At work, I've been pumping into regular storage bags because they're ones that I freeze if I don't need to use them. And if I do, I just tear them off and I just pour them into the Kind bag and trash the bag. So I only have to wash nipples, which is great. I don't have to wash any dishes and my pump parts, but you know, it's awesome.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to wrap it up?
I think so. I think the only other thing about coming to work that I like feel weird about is like that weird mom guilt, which is like I'm on my phone a lot now because like it's the first few weeks of me being back here. So like the nanny has questions, dad has questions, everybody has questions that mom has answers to. And it's not like that they're incompetent. It's just that like there are questions that you have to answer. Like, when was the last time this thing pooped? You know, like
there's an app for that, you know?
It's not that like they're incompetent, it's like they just need the information. Like, where did you leave the wipes last time you changed the baby? Like so like I contact him too, so like we're both on our phone a lot, and I just can't imagine that like subconsciously even that like other employees or like our bosses walk by and they're like, oh, they're on their phone again. Like it makes me feel like icky, but like at the same time I have to do it, you know,
as I'm sitting here checking notes from daycare.
Right. Exactly.
I just got a message from daycare.
Yep, exactly.
I'd be like, oh no, what's that?
Right.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
We've actually, so with we can just like start doing outros, but so Madeline started a new daycare because we had her in McPherson, and then Milton got the job in Lindsborg.
Yeah.
I work in Salina, so we didn't want her, 30, 20, however long Lindsborg is away from McPherson. So luckily at that same time, my sister-in-law had an opening at her daycare, which is literally 5 minutes away from work. Like
That's
it is
cool.
right up the street.
That's
and
cool.
so, she goes to daycare there now. I think she only has like 4 other kids during the school year.
That's awesome.
And Madeline hates us for it. She has this best friend, Robo, from her old daycare. And every morning, can I go play with Robo? Can I go play? I'm like, oh gosh. Luckily, Milton was smart enough to get Rowan's mom's info. So we have a McDonald's
play dates.
We have a McDonald's play date on Saturday.
Oh, that'll be fun.
It's very exciting. So I've never talked to this woman. Well, I've talked to her.
Right.
She saved us from a moving vehicle once in the daycare parking lot. She's a very sweet lady.
Nice.
Yeah. I just don't know. It's hard for me to relate to moms I don't know. Because I'm like, rough. What kind of mom are you? Are you a normal mom? Right. Are you a psycho mom?
Right.
Are you... Because kind of flushing those out.
I'm the one that's going to like throw chicken nuggets at my kid and tell him to go away. Go play. Go do something. Here's some chicken nuggets.
So... We'll see. I think she's normal mom. She's good. Rowan's her youngest of 3. So.
Oh, cool. Oh yeah, experienced mom.
She's an experienced mom.
So our outro for today is shit your kids say or do. And since I've been out for 6 weeks, I've got a couple. One of which I think is pretty funny because I didn't understand the context about it until I talked to the nanny later. But Cadmus walked into the bedroom and I was like holding Lyrus, his brother, just changing his butt, hanging out, doing whatever. Mm-hmm. Cadmus walks up and like grabs his little head in his hands and goes and like aggressively smells his hair. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, he smells so good. Eat him. And I'm like, what? You're going to eat him? Why are you going to eat him?
This is serial killer stuff, man.
Right. And then I text the nanny. I'm like, what? Where did he get this? And she's like, oh, because like, when you smell new baby, she's like, when I hold him, I like smell him. And I'm like, oh, you smell so good. I could just gobble you up. Right.
Eat him.
So Cadmus literally thinks that Lyra smells very good. So
that
he should be able to eat him.
I mean, that logic checks out. Just saying.
I was like, this is hilariously adorable.
That is really funny.
How dare you be so cute.
That is really funny.
Have your kids said or done anything wild?
I'm sure they have. Gosh. Oh gosh. Oh, Madeline, a couple weeks ago, we were swimming. My mom bought a new house. It has a pool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so we've been there a lot, even though it's under construction. It's a madhouse, but the pool is great. The pool's open. And we were leaving, and she's backing up. She's all tired from swimming. She goes, Mommy, I love this place. I'm like, I'm glad you love this place, sweetie. I'm glad.
That's so funny.
What else has been her thing lately? I don't know. She's just starting that, like, really talking in full sentences now. Yes. So it's...
Yep. Cadmus does this thing, like, you could do, like, anything for him. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, it could be the most simple thing ever. Like, you like, do the Velcro on his shoe, and he goes, oh, thank you, Mommy.
Madeline does that
I'm like,
too.
Oh, my gosh. What? Like, so, like, breathy, and, like, it's the best thing you've ever done. Oh. You've saved his life.
Thanks. There was... so Madeline, we're trying to get her we started a really bad habit of her drinking milk in order to go to sleep.
Oh yeah.
Having milk in bed. And so, she just goes down the line now. She goes, I want chocolate milk.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell her it's time for bed.
Yeah.
I was like, no chocolate milk. And she goes, okay, I want regular milk. And I was like, no, you're not having regular milk. And then she'll go, cold water. I go, you can have some cold water. So because we had to get a new fridge because our other one just shot the shit.
Right.
And so it came with one of the big Brita filters that has the thing on it.
Yep.
And so her new thing is she loves cold water out of the fridge. So
that's cute.
cold water.
Yeah. Cadmus still drinks milk pretty much on demand whenever he wants it because the kid never eats anything.
Yeah.
The only thing keeping him alive is the protein in milk, I swear to God. But like he'll munch and eat some things, but like he had like iron deficiency and stuff. So like the easiest way to fix that is to like get the protein powders type stuff that has iron in it that you can mix with their milk.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So that's what he's been drinking before he goes to bed. So he at least gets some iron because he won't eat regular like vitamins, kid vitamins. Like I try to put them in his mouth and he's like, ew, no. I was like, dude, they're Flintstone chewable things. They're great. And he's like, no. And it's like a crisis. So I just put it into milk and he doesn't know.
Problem solved. I saw that we were talking about a meme earlier that's like, me before kids. I'm never going to lie to my kids.
Right.
Me now. I just got off the phone with Santa, the Easter Bunny, the Green Power Ranger, and that one guy from Paw Patrol. And they said, if you don't brush your teeth, that they're going to kill another unicorn.
Right. Yeah. Truth. Talking about lying to your kids, Cadmus came up to Barnabas today and was like, I want another cat. He's like, I want a black kitty. And Barn was like, no, it's a bad idea. We have too many animals. Cats are too expensive. We don't we don't have the money for another
thing
cat
on the face of the planet.
We don't have enough money for another cat. And Cadmus is like, okay. And then Barn texts me and he's like, how do you tell a kid that we can't have more animals until the ones we have die? And I was like, I think you did a good job. That counts.
Oh my God.
But like, we already have 2 cats and 2 dogs. I'm not adding any more to that fiasco until we're short less animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will see y'all next time.
Yeah.
We'll try to start up on TikTok and Facebook and the whole shebang thing again.
If you aren't following us there, you should, because obviously they're floundering, so we need some help.
So, but all the things. So we will talk to y'all later.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.